Right. November 29th, 2023. 216 days without smoking a cigarette, 182 without drinking, 172 without smoking weed, 148 without vaping, 28 out of 29 physical activity, 28 out of 29 flossing, 23 out of 29 meditating, 7 out of 29 core exercises, 21 out of 29 cold shock therapy, 9 out of 29 no fap, 10 out of 29 reading, 5 out of 10 physical health, 6 out of 10 mental health, 4 out of 10 career productivity, 6 out of 10 friendships, relationships, happiness for the day, 6 out of 10. Day 7,975 out of 14,600. About 5 a.m. at the gym on the Soulplex with my buddy from 5:45 to 6:15. Stretch until 6:30. Grabbing breakfast from 7 to 7:30 with my buddy at the upper gym, watching two of the other fellas on the soccer team doing the beep tests. Calling my friend from back home from 9:30 to 11. After the beep tests, reporting the not working TV. So I was kind of a dingus. The remote that they give us the remote that they gave me didn't work for the TV. So like trying to turn it on, and it didn't work. And like I assumed that there was no buttons on the TV to turn on the TV because the last TV didn't have it. So I went down and then reported that they didn't have a TV, or that the TV wasn't working. And then I come back up, and then I look at the TV again. And I'm like, oh, there's like power button, volume button, and everything. And then I plug it into a different port, and then as soon as I test it out, it turns on. I'm like, nice. So the only thing that matters is like the remote doesn't work, which is fine. But anyways, and then somebody comes up with a TV like 5 minutes later, and I'm like, well, I got 2 TVs now. So anyways, it's kind of funny. All right. At the base hospital for travel pack, apparently, because when we go to Ireland, they said that you can there's like packs you can get from the base pharmacy where they have like Tylenol, Advil, Gravol, stuff like that. And I went there, and he's like, yeah, those things don't exist. I'm like, okay, cool. Apparently it doesn't matter. And then I was at Shoppers Drug Mart to pick up my new fur hat. Look at that. This is some quality fur. It is like uber soft. Anyways, yes, so picked up my new hat. I was back at about 12:15 for lunch with my buddy, and then he's one of my we discuss very philosophical understandings with each other, and we have an interesting level of conversation, and I very much enjoy talking to him. So we started talking at like 12:15. We spoke right up until about 1300 when the galley closed for lunch, and then we came up here and we started talking, and then like we were talking for another hour and a half until about 1500, and then we were discussing ethical and philosophical basis for foundations of relationships. So like what I was basically asking was, is there a high threshold and a lower threshold for the bases of relationships or partnerships in your eyes? Is there a difference between partnerships and friendships, or partnerships and relationships, right? And is it different for men and women, right? And obviously it's one thing to be discriminatory towards a person on certain bases, right? Because everybody subconsciously judges other people, whether they want to admit it or not, right? And it was very interesting having a very different core values for social dynamics and social interaction, right? Yet still just contemplating how we interact with people, and we're both relatively socially adept. Anyways, and And then we're working on the ETD campaign, doing a brainstorming session until 4:30, grabbing supper from 1700 to 1800 with two of my buddies, and then I nap from 1800 to 21:30. Then I was stuffing my face with eggs and a protein shake until 22:15. Did a shower until 22:45, objective journaling until 23:15, Jolo until 23:30, and then I literally don't have what is up for the rest of the day. Don't tell me this freaking thing doesn't work either. Oh my gosh. Apparently there's literally only one outlet. So I got two outlets on either side of the desk, and the top one on this one doesn't work, and the top one on that one doesn't work either. Maybe it's a switch that I gotta flick, which I'm gonna try out, but what the heck, that is annoying. Anyways, 2 roses. I'm happy that comment bothers me so much, and I'm really happy I started with him. Oh yes. I'm just gonna specify because that's too vague. All right, one thorn. I'm bothered by how I'm handling my left ankle. I'm looking forward to building the next plan. One memory: building the disassemblable, I think that's a word, chicken coop with 6 pieces. There's 4 walls, a roof, and then a big floor. And it was assembled it was kind of cool. Like everything assembled and disassembled very easily, and it was insulated. It had vapor barrier lining, and it still lasted to this day. Like it's probably been like 5-6 years since I built that thing. It was like literally out of the pine wood, straight out of the forest. Insulated pine straight from the forest, and it's still lasting to this day. Yeah. Fitness: 1 hour socializing, 8 hours productivity, 3 hours working, 0 hours sleeping, 8 hours rest and recovery, 2 hours, and learning 2 hours. Wait, yeah, fitness 1 hour, socializing 8 hours. I think I said that, but whatever. I'll look it over later and then just cringe at it. So 2 things. 2 of the things that I'm happy about. Where's where I'll start. That comment bothers me so much. So this one has been in my mind all week. I think it was Sunday that I made the comment, and I was sitting there at a table with some friends, and then somebody else comes and sits down with us who, like, I'm friends with them. I'm not friends with them. And there's an ongoing joke between my friend and I that there's a certain number in the population that is considered overweight, and like, he's my fitness friend. So every time that I see somebody that's overweight, I'll look at him and say the number, right, just to remind him, these people are overweight. We're not part of the statistic, right? And we laugh about it, and then we move on, and it's nothing personal, right? So anyways, so we're sitting there talking, and then and this person walks by, and I know them, right? And I immediately look over and I say the number, and then us two laugh. And this person is friends with that person, and I know them. I'm sort of friends with them. And they immediately start ripping into me. They're like, that is so freaking inappropriate. That is so rude. What is wrong with you? That makes people insecure. And I'm like, okay, cool. So she read me out in front of all my friends. She made me look like it. Whatever. She made me look like an idiot in front of my 4 friends. Right, so she pissed me off. She didn't have any right sitting at the table in the first place. And then today, she went and spoke to the other person that I immediately commented on. And firstly, she had no right being there. Secondly, who's she to go and tell it to the other person, right? Like, I guess it is a moral obligation if you're friends with them. But at the end of the day, some things are better left unsaid, and some people are going to burn for tossing around comments and accusations, right? Especially if the context is not correct. And that is something that people should make explicitly clear about rumors. Anyways, so the comment has become irrelevant. but the context around the comment has been a very interesting game. And I think it has a lot of unique factors contributing to the same issue. But yes, I'm overthinking the social interaction so much, but that's just the way that I am. Like I'm hyper-analyzing a simple interaction that I should just rub off and move on from, right? Like it literally doesn't matter. The person can become irrelevant without a problem. But it's the context around it that I'm so stuck on, right? Was I rude to say that comment in the first place? Was it me commenting on them as a person, or was it me commenting on the appearance of the person, right? Because I see those as two separate things, right? Anyways, and the second one, I'm really happy that I started with my buddy. So I've been trying to build a project, and I've finally got it ready to present, and I've mentioned it a couple times in these past journos. And somebody came back, and then I spoke to them, and I presented this project to them, and they loved the idea, right? And today we sat down. I didn't even want to do it. I avoided it because it was kind of making me uncomfortable. It was like, I kept on telling him, I don't believe it's the right time for me to start working on this. All right. And then he and I ended up sitting down and brainstorming, and we had a very, very good conversation about it, and we came up with a lot of very strong ideas. And I was very happy to be able to sit down and converse with somebody about it, because I think that it gave me a little more confidence to challenge a conventional way of thinking surrounding the basis of that project. Right? So sometimes, like, it's just, you got to start it, and then you allow yourself to get surprised by someone else putting in just as much effort as you, right? Because for the longest time, anything that I start and I begin working on is something that I'm the only one that I'll trust myself to work on. But that surprised me today, that someone else was just as eager to help or to begin a project or to collaborate on a project. And I think that it meant a lot to me as a person, and as a developmental standpoint, or from a developmental standpoint. I learned a lot today from both those interactions. But it's hard letting go of, because I'm trying not to come across as a dickhead. I'm trying to control that social appearance to other people. And again, I'm hopping back to the first rows, of course, because I just keep hopping from one to the other. But that first interaction, like, I knew the person, I know them, they liked me up until that point, until that comment, and to me, the comment doesn't matter, right? It was never a personal attack on them. And I think that anybody who's understanding those bases of interaction, you got to be able to see more than one. You got to be able to see it from multiple perspectives. You got to be able to see more context. Stop assuming things about people, and I think that that'll help out build a stronger foundation for tolerance in social plasticity. Yes, more tolerance for social plasticity. All right, but anyways, that's almost 15 minutes. That's enough. Hope you guys like my fur hat. I like it. It's very soft. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. If you are, if you aren't, then you're missing out. Have a good one. Good morning, evening, night, day, wherever you are.